Hello, and welcome to The Squeeze. I'm Miranda and Adam, and it turns out that nothing you're measuring on your website actually matters. Today, we're going to talk about the confusion around conversions, so stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Squeeze. I'm here again with Adam LaFavor, my co-host from Digital Sandwich. Adam, you want to tell them about our topic today?
Hello, Miranda. Today we're going to talk about conversions, website conversions, what is a conversion, all things conversion.
I really thought that was the perfect opportunity for you to do your British accent.
I need a scone and a spot of tea.
Yes, we're talking about conversions today, which seems to be a point of confusion for a lot of clients that we work with. And what ends up happening a lot of times is that somebody will come to me and say, hey, I really need marketing services because they're worried about one thing or another, but they've never really sat down and determined like which is the thing that they want the most as a result of their marketing, right? And that is a really important part of creating a marketing plan. What I typically teach people in the classes that I teach is we always start with the end goal in mind, right? So if you don't know what it is that you are moving towards, you will always be moving towards nothing.
You're Sunday driving.
Yes.
If I don't know where I'm driving to, I'm just driving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think too, there's some like misconception for people outside of marketing industries that like conversion can mean anything you want. I mean, conversion isn't just one thing that we measure. A conversion is specific to the client, right? So the conversion can be a phone call. It can be a Facebook like. It can be a website form filled out. It can be an actual payment taken from the customer, right? Like which part of that is the conversion is super crucial when it comes to determining how we are going to create the marketing plan.
Agreed. And very often it gets misconstrued into, is the conversion a sale? Well, it could be. Do you have a sales department?
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be their metric. Right?
Exactly.
So their funnel is full. That's our job. And then those sales conversations, they're sales qualified. They're marketing qualified. And then that needs to turn into, is it a proposal? That's a whole funnel itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they have conversion metrics as well.
Exactly. So let's break this down. In digital marketing, there are some common conversions that we use for reporting purposes, for success measurements, right? One popular one is a website form being filled out, which sometimes is referred to as a lead, right? A phone call or a button click, right? A button click of a phone number on the website or from a Google business page to signify that somebody actually clicked to call from the marketing.
Get directions.
Subscription to a newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
Increased amount of followers for a social channel, right? Those are some popular conversions that we look at. However, there are some benchmark things that we also measure in between our marketing delivery and then that conversion actually happening. And those we typically refer to as KPIs or key performance indicators, which can tell us the likelihood of this marketing campaign producing conversions for the customer or the client, right? So it's important.
A great explanation. Sure.
Yeah, we have to determine the distinction between there, right? So like many times we get into this conversation where we're talking about the engagement on social posts, right? That just seems to be like the top of everybody's mind lately. Like how many likes, how many comments, how many shares do I have on all my social posts, my reels, my TikToks? Why am I not getting 1,000 new calls from this viral post that just went out, right? In turn, the engagement metrics from specific content really don't ever qualify when we are looking to report on conversion, right? Like that would be considered a KPI if we saw an increased number of conversions happen shortly thereafter. Or we could trace that traffic. Let's say our conversion is a lead on the website, right? If we had traffic reports that show that all of the traffic was coming from Facebook on the specific day that this post went out, or through this advertisement that we were running for a week, and we could show that pass through, then the engagement on that post would be an important KPI when determining the success of the marketing campaign when we report on the conversions, right? But by itself, it's really a very empty metric. It doesn't really tell us much at all, right? So when we are creating marketing campaigns, it's so important to determine ahead of time what exactly we want to achieve here.
Otherwise, you get your feelings hurt.
Yes.
Because we're not on the same page about what it is that we're even trying to accomplish. At the end of the day, business owners are really looking for new sales.
Exactly.
They're looking for new business. So we can call conversion 18 different things. What they're really looking for and what they're going to judge by and what they're going to judge success by is, are they getting new business? And being clear about what a conversion is in everyone's world, it's paramount.
Yes.
It's critical.
1,000%. So usually when we get started, we say, okay, what's the thing that brings you the most amount of money in your pocket? And this is money in your pocket, not money in your business bank account. This is after you have adjusted for all of your expenses or your cost of goods sold, right?
Sounds like more of a business development question, not a marketing question.
Exactly. And those things
I like that.
Determine what type of marketing you should be doing, right? So let's say I have a retail store. What is the thing that I sell that brings me the most amount of money in my pocket? Obviously, if I am a business owner and I'm in a business to be profitable, right, I'm going to prioritize the thing that I sell that puts the most amount of money in my pocket at the end of the day. Now, maybe that's not my most popular item, right? But marketing can adjust and affect the popularity of the sale of the items that you have based on what the priority is in the content, right? And so we take that end goal and then we would reverse engineer that goal to the very start, which determines how we create those marketing campaigns.
Right.
So if you are a business owner who really hasn't approached marketing in this way or hasn't worked with outside marketing agencies yet, or even you haven't seen a ton of results working with marketing agencies, this would be the question to ask yourself, right? Have I sat down and determined what my end conversion goal is?
I would take it even further and say when that doesn't happen, because it's not going to, right? It's going to happen 2% of the time.
Right.
I mean, the average website, even the well-built, properly built, SEO'd, everything website only converts 2 to 5%. So 95%, 98% of the time, when people land on the website, they do not convert or take that number one most desired action.
Yes.
So it's not good enough to just, folks aren't even doing the number one action, let alone they really should be solving for and considering, when they don't do this, what do we hope they do? And when they don't do that, what do we make? And making sure that you have mechanisms in place to make sure that they sign up for the newsletter, that they come back, that they read the next article, that they watch a video, that they whatever the next thing is to continue to move them through the awareness stages.
Oh, exactly. Yes. That's a good point that you bring up. Like the conversion percentage is part of that reverse engineering solution, right? So 2 to 5%, I feel like is generous, Adam. Like I typically tell.
I think that's e-commerce.
It's e-commerce.
I think that's e-commerce.
But it's also a caveat to that is e-commerce with ads. Advertising is different from marketing, right? Like marketing, and we've kind of covered this in other podcast episodes, but it's always good to revisit this topic. But marketing is a giant umbrella, and underneath that umbrella is advertising. So not all marketing is advertising, but advertising is a component of marketing. Right. And that's something that we do need to understand if we're going to be hiring outside marketing reps or agencies or anything like that, right? Because if you don't really understand the distinction between advertising and marketing, then you're going to get you're going to get your feelings hurt. I mean, you're going to be disappointed at the end of it, right?
Everybody's getting their feelings hurt today.
Yes. So, the percentage that I tell people to expect, especially because most of what Marketing Juice and really what Digital Sandwich does is organic content marketing, is 1%.
I would say 1% or less
yes.
of not targeted traffic, meaning advertising, where we've pre-created an audience that we're serving messaging to.
Right.
Yeah. So 2 to 5 with targeted, I think is great.
It's great.
And that's great.
Yes.
Less than 1 is really what we should expect. So I think the easy part is figuring out what the most desired action is, and then we can hope that happens.
Well, and that's
it's really it really falls down to timing, right? Not everybody's ready to purchase right then. They're not ready to take that final action,
right?
So do we have a return path created?
But I think also we can reasonably expect a 1% conversion if our marketing is finding people who are interested in the products or services that we offer, which is where SEO and content creation really win the day in terms of marketing strategy. So when
1,000%, but we never talk about that.
Yes,
like no one wants to talk about that. They don't totally. I just had a conversation this morning about content marketing, and sorry, that is where by and large all of your traffic is going to come from. You have to do it. Well, I'm sorry. You're doing it whether you intend to or not.
Right.
Are you doing it well? Are you doing it intentionally?
Right.
Because not doing it is a form of doing it. That is how people find your website.
Yes.
That's how. So it's not even close as far as traffic source. It's not even close. Organic traffic is huge.
Right.
Not even close.
So that's the thing, though, is let's say we can expect 1% conversion. And I am trying to sell things on my website, right? 1 out of every 100 people that are coming to my website need to buy something, right? Like for 1% conversion.
Yeah.
So if I want more than 1 conversion per month, I'm going to have more than 100 people come to my website per month, right? And then adding in those advertising strategies and those retargeting strategies for the people who aren't necessarily ready to convert right then and there is an important part as like a secondary action, right?
Yep.
But like, what are we doing primarily to get 1,000 people to that website to convert, right? If I want 10 leads every single month, I need 1,000 people every single month to come to my website to expect that 1% conversion rate.
And not just 1,000 people. You need 1,000 people coming from a traffic source with some sort of intent.
Exactly, who are already interested in what I have to offer.
Yes.
And that's why it is so important to have that understanding of what your primary conversion is before you begin all of this step, right? Because you could end up wasting a great deal of time and money. And I mean, I've seen this happen to countless businesses.
Sure.
Countless businesses, right? We actually had a client we were working with together, right? And they were so insanely concerned with the engagement amount that they were getting on their social media posts that instead of investing money into targeted advertising to improve conversions, right? They spend all of their advertising money on increased engagement on social posts. And then they were confused about why they did not have increased sales every month, because that's not the same thing.
Not even remotely
by any stretch, right? Like, it's great as an integrated strategy to work with influencers and to have viral content on Reels and TikTok, right? Because it brings awareness about your brand or your business. But it does not also accomplish the things that content marketing, SEO, website optimization are going to accomplish for you when it comes to conversion achievement.
So 2 things. You bring up the word awareness. I want to talk about that. And then the other part of that is conversion rate optimization, right? So the first thing that comes to mind with that, touch on that for a sec. First thing that comes to mind with that is, are you making it easy for people to do business with you on your website? How many websites do you visit on a weekly basis that you're like, where, what Am I even in the right place? The branding's not clear. I did the how to do business, the how to purchase, the what's the next step. It doesn't pass. I think Donald Miller calls it the grunt test. It doesn't pass that 3-second, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do or that I'm in the right place at all. So that conversion rate optimization is a big deal. Address your website, folks. It's part of your sales process.
Yes.
You got to do that. Are you easy or difficult to do business with? And take yourself out of your business person's shoes for a second. How frustrated are you when you're the buyer and you're going to do HVAC, or you need a plumber, or you need a shoe, or you need whatever you need,
Yes.
and you can't figure out how to buy? How frustrating is that? It's terrible. Are you guilty too? Am I talking about you right now?
Right.
Right? Like,
yes.
fix it. Like Bob Newhart, fix it.
Yes.
You got to fix it.
Yes. Oh my God. It's so interesting to me how many business owners have not taken the time to consider that their audience is not them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And what we know about the general public and their behavior online is that they do not like to do a lot of things to get to their desired goal, right?
Well, so what you're doing is you're actually attracting your competitors.
Yes.
When you're writing for you, when you're talking in the way that you talk, all you're doing is attracting your competitors, because that's the only people that understand you.
Yes.
You're talking at a level, the industry jargon, the overwhelm, that stuff.
Right.
You're talking at a higher level than the 5th to 8th grade.
Right. And I mean, you may know infinite information about your
Right.
business and industry, right? And the general public, I mean, we have to assume they know less than 10% of what you know about your business and how it works.
That's why they need you.
Exactly. And so if you are not holding their hand through the process of them being able to do business with you, then they're not going to spend the extra time and effort. They're just going to go to somebody else who will hold their hand through the process, right? And that can be frustrating. I mean, I empathize in that there's a lot of people who we talk to, right, that they don't know anything at all about our industry. And I do have to go back, and like take a step back and remove some of the SEO, PPC terms from my vocabulary, right? And break it down a little bit more clearly for the people who are not in my industry who are coming to me for help, right? I can't just like throw a bunch of like technical marketing information at them and expect them like to be, oh, okay, well, I want this, this, and this for my business, because they understand how marketing works,
talking my
right?
language, not.
Exactly.
I'm going to nerd out on that.
Yes.
That's.
Yes.
Now, the other thing that I think that the easiest way to think about this is think about the stages of awareness. So we talk a whole lot about top level awareness. What we don't talk about is there's actually 5 stages of awareness. And I think that this is important for business owners to understand. People can be completely unaware of of the problem or the solution. They may not even know that they have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And here you are banging them over the head with a solution. So they're completely unaware.
Right.
Then they generally become problem aware. They know they have a leaky roof, or they need a new shoe, or whatever it is, right? They become problem aware.
Yes.
Then they become solution aware. And that's all the solutions. There's probably more than one way to solve things,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now they become solution aware. And they start to do some research. That's that research phase where they're going to decide how they're going to solve their problem. They then become aware of you.
Right.
Right? You as one of the solutions. Okay. So once that happens, they become result aware. So how did you solve their problem, or did you?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we need to advertise, or we need to market to each of those phases of awareness completely differently. What we very often like to do is hit people over the head that are only problem aware or not even problem aware with our solution.
Yes.
No one cares about your solution. No one.
No one.
No one. Own the problem. You got to own the problem.
That's an interesting tidbit there, because what we really could do in an approach with that 5 stages of awareness is market toward a conversion for each of those stages, right?
So we map services to each stage.
What's the ideal conversion for each one of those stages?
Mm-hmm.
Where is your business in each one of those stages? And that is really how you create that conversion-driven marketing plan.
because the only point is to get you to the next step.
Right.
That's my only. Now those steps can happen quickly.
Yes.
In a 5-minute conversation, you might go from problem unaware to result aware. I may even deliver the service right there.
Exactly.
That could happen.
Yeah.
So we can move you through those stages quickly. Depends on what the solution is.
Yes.
Or what the problem is.
Right. So, I mean, honestly, we could probably get in a lot deeper with this too. But for those out there who are looking for just some really concrete advice on creating their marketing plan for their business, right? Our takeaway for the episode today is that you need to be conversion focused, right? Do the things that you need to do to set the foundation prior to building marketing content or spending money on advertising or even hiring a marketing agency, right?
Sure.
Like, really, we expect people when they come to us to have that stuff at the table with them. Like, this is what I want to accomplish with my marketing efforts. And then this is how much I'm willing to spend on that because I know exactly how much money is in my pocket at the end of the day.
But very often they're not even problem aware.
Exactly.
They're not even aware that so here's the action that I would give you right now. You don't need us yet.
Right.
Do this. Go to your website, pretend you're not you. Load up your website, look at it. Is it obvious to someone besides yourself that they're in the right place? And is it clear what to do next? And is that consistent with what you want their next action to be? If it isn't, fix it.
Yes.
Change it. Is the call to
advice.
action clear? Is it, start there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start worrying about driving more traffic. Nothing more frustrating. I need more traffic. Yeah, but you're not converting anybody. So what's double the traffic
Right.
gonna do?
Just 1,000 more frustrated people
Let's
on
maybe
your
fix
website.
that. Yeah. You're burning 1,000 people every week
Yeah.
that are never going to do business with you again. Let's address that. Let's start bottom up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Reverse engineer the goal.
Absolutely.
That's always like my number one recommendation. Before we get started with any content creation plan or targeting an audience, anything like that, we reverse engineer that goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on The Squeeze. Make sure you subscribe. You can find us on all the major podcast hubs and on YouTube. And we'll be back with a new episode in a couple weeks.